Americans, you just love your big coffees. Oh, I really love that double risen in the magic, and maybe that's just me being an Aussie. American coffee versus Australian coffee. No, I'm not going to start a competition, but I do want to help you know what to choose when you go to the other country. If you're an Australian going to American, what are you going to drink that's going to get you the coffee you're after, and what do you order? Vice versa. So let me show you the 3 main drinks that you might get confused with between American coffee and Australian coffee. So let's start off with the Magic versus the Cortado. Now the Magic is pretty well very Australian. It really comes out of Melbourne, but it is getting a lot further around Australia. I've been training it because baristas should know what the different coffees are, but let us know in the comments, is the Magic getting around the world? Are you seeing it in your country? I know a lot of our viewers are from all over the world, so let us know if you ever see a Magic in your country. But basically, a Magic is a double ristretto. So you're using 1 part coffee, 22.5 grams of coffee for us, and our recipe for our champion blend, beautiful rich blend. And if you are in the States, UK, New Zealand, Canada, you can buy Champion beans. We'll put a link in the description to our overseas store so you can try Artisti coffee overseas. Now, if you're in Australia, obviously jump on artisti.com.au, grab some beans. So we're going for a 1-to-1 ratio, which means we've got 22.5 grams of dose, and we're going to get 22.5 grams of yield. This is going to give us a nice rich texture. Now I am not changing the grind to achieve this. This shot will probably take around 20 seconds, but that time is more so dictated by your normal extraction. Show you that in a second. Beautiful. And that just gives you, the nice, rich, the oiliest, most body, and it's just beautifully cuts through the milk as well. So if you're doing a Magic, it's got to be a double ris. And then when we do our milk, we only need a little bit of milk, and I'm only going to put just a second of air in there. So really don't. That was quick. You got to be quick. We don't want a lot of air in there, because this is more like flat white textured milk. So if you haven't mastered your milk yet, we've got heaps of videos on pouring and preparing beautiful silky milk. So we'll put the links in there. We've got heaps of videos for baristas. If you're in the States or in Australia or anywhere in the world, check out our full range of videos on how to make coffee equipment, all the gear. Now the thing about this, and you will really annoy a Melbourneite if you go too high with this, it is actually a 2/3 full cup. And I've got a large cup. I've got a larger cup here. I didn't go for like a piccolo because it's not enough. But it's actually, and it's not what we would call low tide. We're actually going to go thin milk on that double ris, and that's it. That right there is your Magic. It is not low tide, it is not half full, it is not 3/4, it is 2/3 full. So let's get this Cortado on. So the difference with a Cortado, it is more coffee. We're going to use our normal ratio this time. That's going to be our 1 part coffee, 22.5 gram dose. And we're going to run the full 1-to-2 ratio. I'm going to do it in this smaller glass, because the main thing about a Cortado is it's 1 part coffee to 2 parts milk, and more somewhere between a flat white and a latte textured milk. So this is going to be, it's going to be more coffee. So strength is funny. Strength is like, I can make a coffee taste stronger by just putting less milk in it, not watering it down. So there is that full 45 extraction. So that's my 1 part. Now, if you wanted to get really technical about this, you would find the perfect cup that suits, but pretty much the thing about a Cortado is it's always a double shot, and it is always, man, the power on this La Marzocco Linear PB ABR is so quick. I'm loving this machine. You just got to be ready for it. It's real quick. So then you've got this double shot, your steamed milk. And that is a Cortado. More milk, more coffee, but still strong. Double Riz will be a little bit sweeter, that ristretto. We don't have the full amount of water going through the bed of coffee, so that's going to be probably a more balanced flavor with that amount of milk. For me, I do love that. I drink double shot lattes all the time. That's just a little bit less than doing a 220ml glass, which is your classic latte glass. Oh. I am a double Riz drinker a lot too though, so I do a lot of double Rizzes. I really love that double Riz in the Magic, and maybe that's just me being an Aussie. I'm going to pick the Magic on this one, but if I was going overseas and I will look on the menu board and I don't see a Magic, I see a Cortado, it'd be a great option for you. So there you have it. Similar drinks. The Piccolo is somewhere in there as well, so you could look at ordering a Piccolo. I think they're a bit more common around the world, but a Piccolo is more like just one side of that normal. You get a really balanced extraction. It's just in a much smaller 90ml glass. So again, ratios wise, very similar. All right, next has got to be the Americano versus Long Black. So what is it about these two that makes them different? Not much at all. So traditionally in Americano, we'll just always come big. Americans, you just love your big coffees. I know the specialty scene is much bigger and better in America now, and I know that we're all kind of playing similar games now, but there's always been the big 16 ounce, there's always been the big mugs. So you will generally get a large Americano. If someone orders one in Australia, it will usually be large. I'd be asking the customer what size they want. Because if you're in Australia and you order a Long Black, you'll actually get something like this. It's a 170ml cup, and we'll actually put a double shot in there. It's quite a strong cup because Australians are kind of climatized to that Long Black being a full, rich experience. But today, let's do a Long Black in a mug and a Americano in a mug. Now, what makes them so different? Not much at all. It's just the water going in the cup before for a Long Black versus an Americano where you're actually going to run the water over the shot after. Right. So here's my Long Black. Notice that I really want to pick up that cup and I want to lift it closer to the spouts so that that coffee can really float over the top of the water. That would make sure that I'm getting a nice, I want that crema to float. I want that full flavored, full body experience for my Long Black. But because of the ABR, which is auto brew ratio, so these squares in my machine here are actually scales. So they're giving me my 45 grams out without me having to put my scales on there, and we're not just using flow. So I actually can't pick up the cups while they're on there, otherwise the extraction will stop. So again, we'll run what's called a normal extraction. That's a 1:2 ratio. I've got 22.5 grams in my cup. Now, it's too late now, but I really want to go a little bit finer on that. That shot's running a little bit too quick for me. It's a little bit out of recipe, so to be honest, I wouldn't serve it to a customer. But for the sake of the video, we're going to roll with it. The shots are identical. They're just running a little bit too quick and a bit too under extracted for me. So I'm just going to grab this double shot and I will just fill that up. What this does is it really mixes the coffee and water together. It breaks up that crema and it makes it, just loses that density off the top of the water. I do think this is maybe the Americans' way of getting closer to a filter coffee, just really blending it all together. That strong crema on top isn't necessarily what they're going for. Because my extraction was maybe a little bit quick, my crema hasn't held together as well as I would have liked, but you can see already that there's definitely a richness to the crema that's floating on top there, versus this Americano, which is a lot more diluted. Even though they have the same amount of coffee, seems pretty stupid, really. Now, how hot are they is the question. Probably pretty hot. Pretty hot. Now this, ideally, in that small amount, at that heat, I can still taste the crema coming off the top of that. It gives me a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more character about the coffee. This is still nice because it's still good coffee, but there you go. It's not far from each other. Simple long black and an Americano. It's just once you go to a smaller cup, you might find the long blacks in Australia are quite strong. So I got one more for you, and that is the filter coffee, percolator coffee, old school. For me, I just always grew up with seeing it in the diner scenes of movies. I saw people pouring out. It's kept on a stove. It's kept warm all day, and it's just constantly topped up, and it's usually a darker roast. I think Australians, we just kind of stole that from the Americans and probably just put our own spin on it. We now call it batch brew or batchy. This is the Breville Luxe. It doesn't have a heated plate, so we do replenish it every 2 to 3 hours. We use single origin coffees on it, but we will serve a batch brew in a cup like this, and we will use filter roasted coffee, a little bit lighter. I think in Australia, especially when we're using filter, we will opt for something fruity, something floral, something more acidic. And I think a big difference in American coffee is it's been around a long time. It's a bit more traditional in its flavour. We've all been introduced, or at least influenced by Italian coffee, but I think Australians have kind of gone on this tangent of finding some really interesting flavours, and we really highlight them in our filters. So if you're looking for filter coffee in Australia, you might find that it's quite different in its flavour profile. It's not aimed to be a rich, dark filter, and it'll often be renewed, and it's using really high quality coffee. So am I wrong? Is there different coffees that you're using in America? We have a huge American audience. We appreciate you watching the content, and we're looking at getting over to America in the next few years, some of the big coffee events coming up. So if you're in America and you want to connect with us, definitely reach out to us. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to come and drink your coffee. Let us know if we're right or wrong about these drinks. What else is on the menu? Have you ever traveled to Australia and drank our coffee and thought it was different to America? If I was to come to America, where should I go? What should I drink? Tell us in the comments below. There you have it. There's a few differences competing Australia versus America. What's your pick? Let us know. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Bye.